So that fire drill is actually in case I rap. They're worried that someone might spontaneously combust again. So we just want to be ready for that. Yeah. So stoked to be out here. Thanks so much to Cito and the team for putting this on and for having me back. I'm back to talk about the Cosmos Hub, Desert Edition. I need a remote here. Yeah, thank you. Desert Edition. Yeah. All right, what's up? So we're going to talk about a little bit of history just so that we can set the stage to talk about the vision and what we've been doing with the Cosmos Hub. Because what, you think the Cosmos Hub fell out of a coconut tree? No, it exists in the context of everything that came before it, right? So for years, Cosmos has had a very clear, simple vision, right? Sovereignty and interoperability, we tell it to everyone, you've heard it so many times, and this is the winning philosophy. The entire blockchain ecosystem has come behind this. Everyone believes that it's right, and we've stuck to this. We've stuck to our guns, and over the years, just everyone has gotten a chain. You get a chain. If you look under your chairs right now, you will have your own chain right there, and so it's just reckless. Everyone gets a chain, and amongst that, there's been a question. There's this clarity over the Cosmos vision, but what does that mean for the Cosmos Hub, right? And for so many years, the Cosmos Hub didn't have a team, right? It didn't have a clear vision, and we're all trying to figure out how can it really serve that larger vision of Cosmos of sovereignty and interoperability, right? And that's really what we're trying to do with the Cosmos Hub. So a few years ago, we got up here and presented Atom 2.0, and that was staunchly rejected, for better or for worse, depending on who you are. Maybe for a while, some folks thought that governance could be our product market fit if we just fought loudly online with each other. That would take us to the next level. I'm not sure how that's going exactly, but in the meantime, at Informo, we've been working on Interchain Security, right? And this was arguably the least controversial of things you could build for the Cosmos Hub. It was really part of the kind of initial vision that this would be a way to extend the core functionality of the Cosmos Hub itself to create a developer ecosystem around it so that people could build, and you could really have fully hub-aligned services. You keep the core minimal, and you extend it in sort of a sound modular way, right? And the vision was we'd be able to have core consumer chains that were, that for each kind of virtual machine and for different kinds of core services, right? So you'd have, for each kind of virtual machine, you'd have your own fully hub-aligned consumer chain that would be able to scale with different roll-ups and would be an integration point for other sovereign chains in the ecosystem that were using that VM, and that you would also have core service provider chains like bridging and asset issuance and so on that were really trying to serve the wider interchain and enable sovereign interoperability generally by providing core sets of services, right? So that isn't exactly, I think, the way that things have worked out. People really kind of more perceived replicated security as an offering to launch new chains by other projects, and we did have some success with that. Of course, we got two of the top chains in the ecosystem, joining the full hub validator set, Neutron as a permissionless hub-aligned Cosmos virtual machine, and Stride as the liquid staking offering. But, they both have their own token, and so there's some perception that they're still somehow separate, right? And there's also this understanding, and really there always has been, that you don't just offer economic security, right? Again, replicated security was more about extending the core functionality of the hub, and beyond that, so people interpret it as okay, well, we're just offering economic security as a product. This was just a jumping off point, right, to really be able to do so much more. And so even though the hub kind of pioneered restaking and even liquid staking to some extent, there's so much competition out there. We really need to differentiate and push the envelope and take it to the next level. And so we've been starting really earlier this year, we kind of put all the replicated security efforts on hold, stopped trying to bring new chains into replicated security and started working on a sort of more streamlined and focused vision to make the Cosmos the best place to launch a chain, right? And to make it so that, really align with the larger vision of Cosmos. Cosmos is the place where you can build a sovereign interoperable chain, and the hub is the place where you can actually launch that chain and get all the core services you need to succeed. And that's really what we've been doing, and the way we've been approaching that is with two core products that we call Forge and Hydro, who are designed to lay a foundation to make the hub the best place to launch a chain. So let's talk a bit about them, about Forge first. So Forge is a complete reconceptualization of what shared security and chain launching should be, right? We completely put replicated security on pause, took all the feedback people have given over the years on what's needed in a chain launching platform, and designed and built Forge, right? So it's fully opt-in from the consumer chain, opt-in from the validators. You don't need the whole validator set. It's permissionless, so you don't even need a governance proposal. You can just go and launch stuff. Do whatever you want. You can shape your validator set, so you can decide how many validators you want, what the max voting power is. You can have whitelists and things like that. And the goal is to really make it a one-stop shop for launching your chain and accessing all the services you need for your chain to succeed. So we actually launched the front end for Forge just earlier this week, so you can check it out now, forge.cosmos.network, and really pushing that vision of the best place to launch a chain. There's a dashboard on there, so you can see the existing consumer chains. You can connect your wallet. You can delegate to validators on the consumer chains you like. We also had last week, we had the first permissionless launch of a consumer chain, right? So this is the dungeon chain by the Crypto Dungeon team, right? And they just showed up and said, hey, permissionless launching is coming. We're going to go and launch a chain, right? And we expect to see, I think later today, we're going to get an announcement about another one that's coming. But we expect that there will be many more of these, and we don't have to go through this high overhead process of doing a governance proposal and getting all this buy-in. People can just launch. They can attract the validators. You can see all the details here. You can see the max validator power, the number of validators, and other kinds of details. And you can see the validators there. And right now, there's just a very small number of validators, right? So it's very low cost for them to run. The validators you attract, they don't even need to be in the active set on the Cosmos Hub. So they don't even need to be active. They just need to have some amount of atoms bonded, however much you want. So it's very, very flexible, totally opt-in, really a lot of flexibility for launching a chain, shaping your validator set, and getting exactly what you need. And this quarter, we'll also be working on a POA solution so that you can even have a non-staked kind of validator set and just really optimize to give devs and chains exactly what they need to launch. So we are super excited about that, and we're now in a position where you can ask not just what you can do for the hub, but what the hub can do for you, and the answer is it can launch your chain in a way that's exactly what you need. So go forth and prosper. But again, there's launching a chain. There's what happens after you launch a chain, right? We need to differentiate. We talk about alignment, but we really need to put a product on alignment. What does alignment mean? One of the key things you need when you launch a chain is liquidity, right? And so that has motivated us to build a second product to complement Forge that we call Hydro. So in introducing Hydro, this is a way to actually get liquidity into your chain to support whatever application you are building. And so just to give a little bit of context on that, where's this coming from? One of the ways that projects have been seeking out liquidity is by making proposals to the Cosmos Hub for the unused Atom that are just sitting in the community pool there, right? So there's been a slew of proposals to allocate Atom from the community pool into what we call protocol-owned liquidity, right? So it's still a position that's owned by the Cosmos Hub, where any benefits or rewards kind of still come back to the Cosmos Hub, but it's deployed into some DEX or some other DeFi app to actually add liquidity to that protocol. And we've seen a bunch of these, and we've seen a whole bunch of Atom go out. But the problem with these is that they're very ad hoc, right? There's no time horizon on the liquidity that's being lent, so you don't know when it's gonna get paid back. There's no official monitoring. There's no actual payment for the liquidity. So it's just this kind of mess of ad hoc proposals to export liquidity in this weird way, where we can't even assess how well they're doing or improve or do anything, right? So what we want to do is move away, veer away from this clubby, governance-powered, ad hoc status quo to a proper market-based mechanism for protocol-owned liquidity, right? And that's what we've been building. That's what we've been building with Hydro. So drum roll, please. I'm not allowed to rap, but I can beatbox. Hydro is open for bidders as of today. So if you're a project looking for liquidity, you can get in touch with us. You can submit a bid to Hydro. The website will be live soon. This is a sneak peek, but all the benefits here to projects that are looking to access liquidity, and just a couple screenshots of what it looks like. So we've built a whole application here. So what you do is you take your atoms, you lock it up, and with your locked atom, you can then vote on projects. And the goal is to be able to use staked Atom as well. We initially planned to launch last quarter using ST Atom as the staked Atom. Of course, there happened to be a lot of pushback for that, so we did the work to use the LSM instead, the liquid staking module. There were some recent revelations about how the LSM was developed, so we've been delaying a little bit further to address some security concerns. We've been lining up audits, so there's a couple audits happening now that we're eagerly awaiting results for. We've been introducing caps and other mitigations, so we're doing this pilot round. We'll be doing this pilot round, which is just like a test round, but with real Atom at stake. So you can lock up your staked Atom, you move it over to the Hydro contract on Neutron. You can see I'm a huge Atom whale with my 40,000 microatoms there that are locked up. This is real stuff though. And then with that locked Atom, I can now vote. So we actually already 4 bids that have come in from projects. We've been working with projects to get some bids in advance. You can see there's one from Margin, from Neptune, from Drop, and from Demex. In this case, I actually voted. I voted for Neptune. I thought that seems cool. You can see the APR up there. That includes the staking APR, but also the tributes, the payments from the bids from the Hydro projects, and that's determined by how many voters there are and how big the tribute is. So with a small number of voters, there'll be very high APR. So there's lots of information to explore here. We really want people to get active in deciding how this liquidity ought to be exported and to who. And we'll be continuing to work on features over the course of this quarter to make it more attractive to projects to bid for liquidity, so that they can set minimum amounts, they can set a duration for how long they want the liquidity for. Right now, the pilot round is just a month, but we want them to be able to bid for 6 months, 12 months, maybe even 2 years, right? But that way we have clarity over when the funds are supposed to come back, and people can get a sense of how much they're paying for it, and we can manage it properly and really again have a proper market-based mechanism for Hydro. So we're super excited about that because the reality is that the ecosystem's a little bit dry in terms of liquidity, right? We're all crying squirtles, looking over to Solana and ETH, how do we get the liquidity in here? But imagine with Hydro, we can tap into all the community pools across the ecosystem. We can tap into the stable coins, we can tap into the Neutron on the hub, we can tap into the TIA community pool, right? We can export all of that through Hydro, and working with our friends at TimeWave and their Valence product, we can automate a lot of this stuff and then export it everywhere it needs to go. Get stables and atoms, across Cosmos chains, get Neutron into Neutron projects, get TIA into the TIA rollups, and really use Hydro as a way to export that liquidity across the ecosystem for the benefit of all the chains, and realize that vision for the hub as helping chains launch and succeed. And so we want to move from crying squirtle to strong Blastoise, blasting the world with its liquidity, and build a truly frictionless, automated, permissionless liquidity system in Hydro that can get this liquidity everywhere. And I think this is really kind of the climax of how to build proper market-based, decentralized liquidity providing services. I gave a whole talk on this at the Modular Summit. It's called Defund the Dealers. I strongly recommend you check that out. It should really be defund or decentralize the dealers. Hydro is a way to decentralize them. Cycles is a way to defund them. But we need to do more than just build these great products. In order for all this stuff to succeed, as the last panel was just mentioning at the end, we need to address some organizational challenges in the hub. And a lot of us have this feeling that the hub teams, they're pushing square blocks, right? They're uncoordinated, they're going in their own directions. And as the informal team, we felt that we're really an R&D team, and that's where we excel at doing engineering and R&D, but we're expected to do all this product and business work, and we don't really have a coordinated marketing and team. And so all these different hub teams over the years, it's just been in hard mode, right? And so we put out this post recently, a couple weeks ago, saying, look, we really think there needs to be a unified, more singular, consolidated product and business lead for the Cosmos Hub that can really roll the hub forward, right? And so while we feel like we've done, laid a sound, solid foundation, taking the hub from 0 to 1, we're calling for the emergence of a very strong product and business team that can really take it from 1 to 100, take it to the next level, so that we could focus on engineering, and that we can all get together under a sort of common banner, like Noam was saying, we decentralized too early, like it or not, and so we need to consolidate it, really take the hub to the next level. So this is more or less what it will look like once we have a strong leader. We think there's a really strong direction coming together, and really great opportunity for the hub. So I'm sure you'll be hearing much more about that soon. In the meantime, you've heard on Twitter everywhere that Cosmos is dead. They pronounce us dead every year or two. As I'm sure you know, we're very much alive. So long live Cosmos, long live the Cosmos Hub, and thank you so much for coming out.